We are not the body and we are not the mind. This is one of these sayings. Now, we are not the body, we are not the mind. It's not easily understandable in the society that we are living right now, where everybody actually is identified so much with the creation of this and the creation of the identity that you want to express in this world. But let's go into some type of thinking experiment. If literally what I refer to as I, if I would be my body, I would simply take the decision right now, body, just stop aging. I don't want you to age anymore. I don't want you to feel pain. I don't want my body to tell me that I'm hungry right now. Just stop the hunger. So raising this question, I feel like I cannot tell my body what to do, literally. This body somehow has his own cycle and his own intelligence that my body is going through. Okay, this is now the body. Literally, it is impossible to predict what is going to be the next thought that's going to pop up in my mind. But if I would be my mind, how come I cannot have an influence in what I am thinking next? Mind and body, both of them apparently have another own cycle of what they are following. What's the conclusion? The conclusion is that nevertheless, body and mind that we carry along this lifetime right now can be and are conditioned. They carry some type of information. Simply said, I didn't choose literally to have this nose on my face. I didn't choose my eye color. I didn't choose the features that I carry in this lifetime right now. So there is information that is being transferred from generations in the past that in a way represent themselves right now in the body that we carry. You might call it is embedded in the DNA, or it is embedded in any type of biological or physical information. If this is staying true right now for the body, could it also be that everything that pops up in our mind also carries some information that has been passed on prior for us being even conscious about it? And the answer for me is definitely, I do think it is like this, that modern science, if people relate to this more, for example, opens the field of epigenetics. And taking all of this into consideration right now still means, okay, but what literally is then the I? If I am not the body, if I'm not the mind, what is the I? And this is the essential question that Buddhism, Zen Buddhism, and many mystic cultures are trying to figure out. This is where when you go on YouTube and you just put in who am I, what am I, where do I come from, you find plenty of that stuff. Okay. It's a very, very interesting question, because this answer of what is it that you are identifying yourself with also gives you the answer, how do I reduce the suffering of this lifetime? That is essentially what all of this is about. How so? If I could live a life full of pleasure, full of enjoyable moments, no pain, no suffering, I would wish for eternal life for sure, because it is the greatest thing that actually can happen to you. You're spending this life on earth and the only thing that you have is a pleasant life. What more do you want? But the reality is not like that. The reality is we have pleasant moments, we have joyful moments, we have healthy moments, we have enriching moments, but at the same time we're also facing something where we could absolutely live without it if we would have the choice. the fact of losing people, the fact of being betrayed, being judged, being insulted, being discriminated, being hurt, many ways that do not feel pleasant. And there is the question, isn't there a way how to find a proper perspective upon life to understand what is it that I am embedded in order to still try my best and reduce the amount of unpleasant or suffering? This is the whole idea about it. Also meaning, if somebody is watching this episode and he's just happy, he has a perfect life, he is happy, there is nothing he's asking for, he's simply fulfilled, there is really no reason to continue listening to this conversation. But I do think that either it hasn't been like this all the time, that person first of all went through some type of development or process, or the winning streak is going to end at some point. Nowadays, if you want to calm your mind, the first practice that is being recommended to you is like meditation practices, most probably, yes. You know, if you come, for example, to any type of retreat place, to a temple, to a secluded place, somewhere in the nature, somewhere in the forest, and you spend some time there, and by nature already, let's say, it's very calm, the surrounding is very calm. It definitely helps for you to calm your mind and to start developing how does it feel to be peaceful. But the reality at the same time is also that from all the people living nowadays in this world, the majority of all of us will never be able to even spend any time at such secluded places. Their reality takes place in the cities, takes place at work, takes place in partially the modern world that is very fast-paced and crowded, let's say. But it's exactly in these places where this peace and this calm would be the most beneficial. Because if anyway in the forest nothing is going on, you don't necessarily need to practice too much to be peaceful and calm. It is in the moment where you have so much external stimuli that are triggering you. This is then the moment in order to really bring out the quality of your meditative practices. Now, one of the first things is really try as often as you can to remind yourself and put yourself in that proper state of what you think you are. I wake up and try to not already have any type of thought from yesterday in my mind. I try to wake up empty. Also, try to at all moments immerse myself as much as I can in the present moment. That's what it is. Live in the here and now. How you do this? To live in the here and now. Stop jumping into the past and stop jumping into the future. Then you live in the here and now. But you must practice it. And literally meaning how you do it, make yourself empty. Because the only thing that fills your mind with past and future is your thoughts. The mind. In the moment where you just on a regular basis put yourself consciously and willingly in different situations and circumstances that actually represent a little bit the structures of life. There are moments in this lifetime where you are going to be super tense. And then it's good to know already how does it feel and what is it that you can do? Well, to learn and release the tension. That's why releasing tension is also a big part of the exercises. The one thing is learning to release tension. The other thing is like when you are too sloppy, when you're too slacky, how to increase your tension, how to increase the energy level again for you to get back into structure again. It's always this balance, and ultimately How does it help people to know the hard stuff? Well, because I do think that it is symbolizing this way of life. It is symbolizing the patterns of what you are going to go through in this lifetime. Why do we have these virtues in the first place? And again, it's like in Star Wars. The Force, what you're learning, the cultivation of energy, the skills that you are learning, these are very, very powerful things. Yeah? But what makes the difference between somebody possessing this power and using it for the sake of humanity or somebody using it for the not betterment of humanity? It's the character. The power is the same. It's the character. It's the carrier of the power. It's the one who's responsible to hold this power, to maintain this power. That one must be trained as well. And this is where the virtues hit in. The virtues are building the framework of the character, of the avatar, ultimately, that is then receiving all different types of training, skill training, that at least in the Shaolin tradition, we would say, is good to know them.